One ordinary morning, Barry prepares for his graduation. He sharpens his stinger, has breakfast with his mother, and meets up with Adam, his best friend. Together, they head to the ceremony where graduates must quickly choose a job in the industries. The options are limited, being a pollinator to collect nectar, a mixer to make honey, a helmet tester, or working with a new machine that prevents honey waste. Trudy, the career counselor, explains that they must choose carefully because they'll be in that position for life. Bees never get days off. This perspective overwhelms Barry, especially when he realizes it means doing the same thing forever. After the talk, the young bees have a few hours to decide. As Barry and Adam head to their car, they see the pollinators, the workers who venture outside. Barry admires this role because it allows them to explore beyond the hive. Adam considers it too risky since many don't return. That night, Martin, Barry's father, asks if he's decided on his future profession. Barry responds by asking if he doesn't get bored doing the same thing all the time. He confesses that maybe working with honey isn't for him. The next day, Barry and Adam go together to their first day of work. They need to find openings for their dream jobs. Adam finds an available position when a bee dies. When it's Barry's turn, he suddenly flees. Barry joins the group preparing to depart. The colonel warns them it might rain that day and asks the pollinators to stay alert. He also reminds them of rule number 1, don't talk to humans. The group leaves the hive and Barry is excited about his first day outside. They fly among humans until they reach a garden full of various flowers. The pollinators use their collectors to suck nectar and take advantage of pollinating the flowers. After the first collection, the group changes location and Barry gets trapped in a tennis ball, mistaking it for a flower. Eventually, the ball leaves the court and falls into the street, taking Barry inside a car. Barry manages to escape and plans to return home, but rain surprises him and he seeks shelter. Hit by the water, he falls onto Vanessa's apartment window. Her partner closes the window to prevent water from entering and Barry gets trapped. He tries to leave unsuccessfully and upon seeing a lamp, heads toward it thinking it's the sun, but fails and ends up falling into the food that Vanessa has prepared for her guests. Just as she's about to devour the bee, Ken starts screaming and grabs his boots to attack it. Vanessa intervenes in time and prevents her boyfriend from killing the insect. She believes all life is valuable and uses a paper to take Barry outside. Barry had only seen the hostile side of life outside the hive, but meeting Vanessa shows him that not all humans are bad and dangerous. When it stops raining, Barry remains on the window, not wanting to leave, not knowing how to thank Vanessa for saving him. He enters through the window and follows her, but doesn't know how to approach without scaring her. Upon hearing him speak, Vanessa gets scared. Realizing it's real, she asks how he learned to talk and offers him coffee and cake. They spend hours chatting pleasantly on the terrace. Barry tells her about his life in the hive and his desire to help in a different way. Vanessa understands him. She reveals that despite her parents' expectations, she always wanted to be a florist. The next day, Barry tells Adam about how terrifying and wonderful his encounter with humans was. Adam warns him that humans are different and forces him to think like a bee. 3 days later, Barry still hasn't chosen a job and his parents arrive to question him. Tired of the pressure, Barry imagines a life with Vanessa. In his dream, they have a picnic, travel together, but Vanessa suffers an accident in her plane. Waking up scared, Barry decides to visit Vanessa at her shop. When they meet, Vanessa takes Barry to the market where he sees hundreds of honey jars and wonders in surprise how they got there. Vanessa explains that humans also eat honey. Barry gets angry and says that bees don't know their honey is being sold and that it's theft. Determined to act that night, Barry infiltrates the warehouse where Hector, an employee, unloads honey jars. Sensing Barry's presence, he opens a jar to attract him and walks away, pretending to leave. Barry appears and confronts Hector, who is surprised to hear the bee speak and tries to attack him with a pin. Barry defends himself with his stinger and demands to know who supplies the honey. Hector confesses it comes from honey farms and points to a truck heading toward the farm. Barry decides to follow the truck, risking himself among traffic to discover how people collect honey. Barry arrives at the farm where he observes 2 beekeepers excited about their new smoker. The men light the device and Barry observes how a toxic substance stuns all the bees and facilitates the theft of their honey. Humans keep the bees under control using the queen as a hostage and steal their honey daily to sell it. Realizing this injustice, Barry plans to sue humans for illegally stealing and selling their honey. His initiative gains support and soon the bees join his protest. Weeks later, they're summoned to a hearing. Adam accompanies Barry to defend the bees' rights. The honey company's lawyer tells how his grandmother, born on a farm, believed humans had the right to take advantage of all nature's products. Barry counters by saying that bees make and protect their honey with their lives and questions why some believe they have the right to take it just because they're smaller. But the lawyer has a plan to turn the jury against Barry. He invites the bee to testify and insults him to provoke him. Adam, seeing his friend attacked, gets furious and stings the lawyer in the buttocks, who exaggerates the incident by faking an allergy to bees. Later, in the hospital, Barry visits Adam, who regrets having to use an improvised plastic prosthetic. Seeing a couple smoking by the window, Barry gets an idea. Barry and Vanessa arrive at court with a smoke gun used to stun bees. The lawyer tries to demonstrate that it's harmless, but accidentally poisons the listening bees, and journalists capture the incident. Barry addresses the jury asking if this is what nature wanted for them. Barry wins the jury's and public's support. The judge decides decides in favor of the bees and closes the case. However, the lawyer warns that Barry has seriously altered the natural balance and will regret it. In the following days, all forced labor camps are closed and the bees are freed. Barry takes charge of returning every drop of stolen honey. With so much honey in the hives, workers have to stop production for the first time in history. However, without bees pollinating, flowers begin to wither and gardens die, leading Vanessa to close her flower shop for lack of flowers. In the hive, Adam expresses his annoyance. He barely started working when he had to stop like everyone else. He wonders what's wrong with humans liking honey, since making it was exciting. Barry, seeing the empty factory, feels bad. He goes to visit Vanessa and confesses that he doesn't understand why everyone is sad after achieving their goal. Vanessa shows him the dead plants, revealing the true consequences of stopping the bees' work. Barry is shocked. Vanessa has to leave and gets into a taxi with her suitcase, heading to Pasadena for the last Tournament of Roses, which was moved up because the flowers are withering. Faced with this, Barry is inspired to correct his mistake. He needs his companion's help to collect pollen from those roses and distribute it throughout the state. The plan is to infiltrate the event, take the float, and bring it to Los Angeles Airport to fly home. They put the flowers in the luggage and take off back to New York. But shortly after, the pilot announces the flight is delayed 2 hours, which terrifies Vanessa because the flowers won't survive without water for that long. To resolve this situation, Barry goes to the pilot's cabin and is surprised to see them trying to remove him with a vacuum. In the chaos, the pilot and co-pilot are knocked unconscious, and Vanessa must take control of the plane heading into a storm. Barry, with his experience, helps Vanessa, but lightning strikes the plane, leaving the devices non-functional. The news is followed by everyone in a live broadcast. Barry explains that making honey is the work of many bees doing small tasks that, done carefully, add up to something enormous. He asks the bees to return to doing what they do best, working together. The bees hear the message and mobilize to help Barry. The entire group of pollinators gets under the plane. On the runway, the rest of the hive guides the plane while Barry and Vanessa work together to land it. After a rough landing, the next mission is to use the fallen flowers to pollinate the city. Barry receives his pollinator uniform and feels he has found his place. Together, the bees spread flowers throughout the city and then return to the hive to resume honey production. Weeks later, Vanessa reopens her flower shop and now also sells bee-approved honey. In addition to his role as a pollinator, Barry has opened a law firm to help other animals who also feel wrong. With the bees allowing humans to consume their honey again, there's a lot of work to be done, but now there's a balance between necessary work and respect for those who do it.